light-hearted, off-topic, wild-card question. And I admit I did have something else, but I just thought of it when Alex said it earlier. Right. And I know this is going to sound like it's going to sound trivial. It's not another one of the Pokemon adventures, though. I promise you. I know where I'm going with this. I actually have views on this, but finishing games. Do you complete games? Do you complete, and what do you consider it means to complete a game? Does that mean getting every single achievement, or does that mean completing the whole story? Also, because I don't play as many story-based games, you see, the idea of finishing a game means something else to me, although there is usually an end game, something like that. But yeah, so Alex, do I judge from your earlier comment, you normally finish every game?
Normally, yes, and finishing games to me usually means getting to the credits, which is usually a story-based game, and finishing the main story. If I really like a game, though, I will complete it 100%. All the side quests, all the trophies, all the collectibles, the whole shebang. But yeah, I do have a rather sad collection of unfinished games that I must finish and haven't done in the lockdown, which I feel really bad about, because now is like the perfect time to do it. But I keep getting distracted by new games. I think that's my problem, is I'm too easily distracted. Just think, oh, there's a new shiny.
See, Gem's nodding, and so I'm like, yeah. Do you have the same problem, Gem?
I'm a magpie when it comes to computer games. I'm literally like, oh, I want to do that. And I actually managed to play 4 games in one day at the weekend, because I was just like unable to settle on anything. And I was like, I'll do a couple of days on Stardew Valley. I'll do a bit of Dragon Age. Just started another game. It's just ridiculous. So I'm really bad at finishing games, and I think partly that's to do with lack of time, and I think partly it's to do with being a magpie, wanting to go on to the next thing. I feel this great sense of guilt for not finishing the games. I feel like, it's like, you just feel like you should finish that game before you move on to the next. And my husband is very good at reminding me that I should finish this game first, and I'm always like, no, I'm going on to this one now, I want to do this one, and then but I think, at the end of the day, the game, you play to have fun, so I don't think it really matters if you finish it or not. You just you play it for as long as it's fun for, and then you move on. I mean, the only issue is obviously cost, and if you've shelled out games, PlayStation games are like 50, 60 plus days, and if you've shelled out that kind of money for a game, then obviously you do want to get your money's worth. But if your money's worth doesn't take you to the end of the game, but you've enjoyed it, then I think move on, get the next one. And talking to you guys is a nightmare, because I'm just finding so many games.
I also notice every time I play something on Steam, like, you tend to
I go and buy it.
Oh, Jem's obviously got that idea somewhere. Oh, no. Matt, do you finish all your games? Because you're mostly PlayStation, aren't you? So.
Yeah, you've just made me feel a bit sad, Gem, because your money investment. I was arguing with Alex about whether or not to buy the new Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
And I said I was on the verge. I was either going to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey and finish the DLC for that, which I've had for the last few years, or I'll spend £100 on the Ultimate Edition of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. In the end, I compromised and got the £85 edition of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then installed it. And this was 2 days ago. I haven't felt like playing it yet. Oh. I'm thinking, what could I have done with that £85? Or I could wait until it got a bit cheaper.
But I find this is the thing, because I have, since switching to PC gaming properly, probably about 6-7 years ago now is when I really fully committed to it. And because of various humble bundles, Steam sales, Epic Games being given out free, I've got more games than I can ever play. And I have hardly spent any money. In fact, I actually made a killing on Rust skins the other week, because all the kids are playing Rust and I had all these ones I never use. And so I made 40 quid, which is going on Mass Effect when it comes out. But I think, because we got this comment from Ketch here about playing games until you feel you've mastered the gameplay, unless you really like the story. And I think actually that's a bit more me, is that I tend to play a game until I'm like, oh, okay, I've got this, I'm a god at it. I mean, like Prison Architect's a game that I played a lot of, until I got to the point where I'm like, I can run any prison and it'll be amazing and it'll be fine. And then the fun's kind of gone from it, so I just moved on from it. And now if I get that urge, I play RimWorld. But I completed Skyrim. I've completed Batman, all the Arkhams and stuff like that. I think there is a difference between those story games and stuff, but there is that, as you said, Jem, meant to be fun. If I'm not having any fun, I'm not going to bloody well play it.
I with particularly open world games, I have a habit of, because I get, when I do this, when I get a TV series, I get anxious when it gets close to the end because I worry about it running out. So I try and drain as much out of the world as I can until I start getting bored and I don't care as much, and then I finish the story. That's what I do with Cyberpunk, because it always gives you that, this is the point of no return. You should finish everything else now. And I go, okay. And I go and finish everything else, and then I finish it.
Yeah.
That's the way I normally go.
My Skyrim replay's been like that. I've been like, I'm going to do every single minor little bloody go and find a garnet from the other side of the planet's quest before I actually go and talk to the Grey Bit. Right, guys. Well,